Well, at first I thought this was on shitty creepypastas or shitty no sleep, but this is actually on the normal creepypasta subreddit. I'm 15 and my father keeps saying he's going to murder my whole family, but he is also part of my family? Question mark. My father is the reserved quite type who doesn't really joke around when he does. It just feels off. He is okay and he can be firm when he needs to be, like when I do something I am not supposed to do. I am 15 and recently my father has been joking around with me and telling me that he is going to kill my family. I found this to be an odd joke coming from a man who doesn't tell much jokes, because if he is going to kill my family, well, he is my family as well because he is my father, so it's just not logical. He then started to doodle on paper and show me how he is going to murder me, my younger brother, and my mother. He would start to laugh his head off, and I just assumed that he was just trying to liven up a bit, because lately my mother and father have been arguing over his quite nature and not getting involved with things. He was quite a good He was quite the good drawer, actually, and he drew himself murdering my whole family, as he calls it, and it looked amazing. I never knew he could draw so well. Then he started to sing to me about how he was going to murder my whole family, and I laughed back, and having to once again explain to him that he was also part of my family because he was my father. He didn't care though, and he kept on singing that song, and it was a little embarrassing when I had friends over, and my father would start explaining to my friends exactly how he was going to bathe in the blood of my family members. He then wanted my opinion on the best camera to buy so he could record himself murdering my whole family. I advised him on a couple of things because I like to make videos now and then and put them on YouTube. My father was also doing some deep reading about serial killers and watching documentaries of famous predators. So I found so many books which were hidden from my mother, which were all about murder and committing grotesque acts. When I found my father's secret stash of books, I didn't realize it at the time, but my father was standing right behind me. He started to sing to me about how he was going to murder my whole family. He stopped for a while, and he seemed a little depressed, but I thought he was just more ill than depressed and took a few days off work. Then, when no one was around, I could hear my father crying to himself, and I guess he didn't know I was home. I had never seen my father cry before, and when I asked why he was crying, there was an awkward 2-minute silence. I kept on asking why he was crying, though. Then my father looked at me and smiled. He then told me that he was going to murder my whole family in a jokingly kind of way. I guess he was trying to cover up his sadness with his weird sense of humor, because I assumed it's weird to see grown men cry. I jokingly replied with the same remark as always, that he was part of my family that he wanted to kill. I also told my father that humor isn't his best suit, and that he should just be himself. Then a couple of nights ago, I woke up to a scream from my mother and younger brother. When I went out of my room, I saw my father on the floor just outside of his bedroom with a knife in his hands. It looked like he was trying to fight against the knife when I called out to him. My father looked at me and said, "Son, get out quickly before it possesses me again," and I saw my father stab himself. He should have been dead, but he got up and smiled and looked at me with crazy eyes, and all the while saying, "I told you I was going to murder your whole family." I ran out of the house while calling the police, and they came instantly. I am living with my cousins now, and I have decided to withhold some information from the police investigators about certain things. Oh, fuck. Man, this is fucking awful. What in the fuck? This is he uses the word quite to mean quiet and quite without changing the spelling, but he spells grotesque right. I'm done. I can't deal with this. This is fucking retarded.